Okay, this video is kind of a little bit of a 2-for-1, but mostly I want to focus on survival kits and I guess you would say bad ideas. But also I want to talk to you about a really cool survival knife. This is the Bushmaster made by United Cutlery. It's a 10-inch stainless steel Bowie knife, hollow handle. It's held in with a roll pin. Got a real nice long clip point on it, saw back, and it has a button compass on the back. I usually hate button compasses because they don't want us to do right, but this one actually has a good button compass where, let's say you're north, it points north. A lot of times with button compasses it'll be off by a good little margin, and you can imagine 15 degrees off over a long distance could be like a whole nother town. So anyways, like I said, this is a really nice knife, high quality stainless steel, and it is made in Taiwan, but it is very high quality, and the sheath that comes with it, also well made, high quality stuff, nice ballistic nylon. This D-ring and these two loops right here, I had that on. I'm working on a little bit better suspension system. When you first buy it, it just has this belt loop that I have the D-ring running through. Part of the reason why I want to change that is because, as you can see where the loop is, it's actually right there along with the belt loop, and it kind of made the knife right uncomfortable for me. But as far as the quality of everything, like I said, you don't see a lot of threads hanging out anywhere or anything like that. It's fairly well made. There's a liner inside the sheath that is some kind of hard plastic. You can see it right there. Good liner in it. I love the fact that it's got these 3 pockets, because that's how you can actually make this knife into a survival kit type knife. And I don't have anything inside the handle right now. I took all its contents out, and I'll show you here in just a second what those are. Now, I'm not knocking United Cutlery. I'm not knocking the Bushmaster. Like I said, I bought this knife. It is mine. I purchased it because I do like it. But I did not like everything that came inside these pockets or everything that came inside the handle. Survival is a personal thing. You are the one that is personally surviving. Not some guy that's putting a kit together in a factory in another state or somewhere else. Not some guy that's on TV that's an expert. A lot of times people think you gotta buy some piece of gear because it's got some expert's name on it. Some of that stuff I own myself. Some of it I wouldn't be called dead with. Actually, I probably would be called dead with because it's low quality. But when these things are being made, it's not just what is the best gear that's being thought of, because they're mass producing a lot of this stuff. It has to be cost efficient, in that sometimes they figure it is better to put something that's kind of low end in the kit just so they can say it's there, like calling something a fishing kit or a fire kit when it's very optimistic at best, because some of the stuff that you see is, well, let's put it this way, it's hard to use when you're not in a stressful situation. If you were under great stress, it'd probably get you killed. And like I said, I'm not saying that this knife is only meant for surviving. Like, I'm not saying you're heading off to Afghanistan with it or anything like that. But I like for my camping, wilderness, the stuff I just carry out into my backfield. I want that stuff to be, if I did need it to hold up, it'll hold up. If anything, just so that the quality is there, so that you get longer term use out of it, not necessarily just because you plan on trying to use and abuse something just to see what you can do with it. But the stuff that was inside here, I kept it all inside this box. This is not an unboxing. The reason why I still have the box is because there are some things I wanted to basically, let me slide out that way. Some of these things I wanted to show you that came with it because I didn't like them. Some of the things I did like, and that's why, like I said, I still got the box. Cause I still got a lot of, that's basically everything that came inside the sheath. And some of the stuff that came inside the handle. Alright, for starters, this snare, it came with a single snare, which is optimistic to think you're going to eat with just one snare. But I will say that it's very high quality. This is made very well. And I haven't figured out where to put it at inside my own stuff. I was hanging on to it until doing this video. But I will put it somewhere else in my pack because it is high quality stuff. It's not cheapy like the picture wire you see a lot of times that they try, or worse yet, they'll try to put some wire that is the finest little brass wire and call it snare wire. I'm thinking it breaks just you twisting it. Why would you want to try to put that in a kit? But simply put in there so that they can say it's in there. I can honestly say that they did not do that with this. This is a good snare. Okay, for blade maintenance, they put your standard little sharpening stone. I'm not sure what grit it is. About 2 inches long, something like that. I'm not a big fan of sharpening, not of the little sharpening stones like that. I prefer ceramic. But, I mean, if you want to keep it with it, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my style. It comes with a the snake bite kit here. Snake bite kit looks like a giant penicillin pill that you would give to a cow or something. But it just a suction type. Comes with a little string for a tourniquet. Inside it has a little surgical blade, and it also has a little vial of iodine. Like I said, comes with instructions right there. Very, I guess you would say high quality as far as these little suction type snake bite kits go. As soon as I find a place in my pack for it, I'll put it there. But one of the good things about that is that it does have the iodine. And iodine can be used to treat water. So if you wanted to keep that off in, in the sheath, forgo something maybe that I put off in here, which my sharpener is actually bigger than this one. If you want to keep the stone, I would say put this dude back off in there with the stone if you want to do that, because you would have room for it. Like I said, in my personal case, I'm putting those somewhere else in my pack. Okay, now this is the items that came inside the handle. Like I said, it's a hollow handle, and that's one of the cool features. Like I said, you can keep all the goodies off in there. Came with 2, I don't know what brand these are, Band-Aids. So they are not going to be with it after this video. Came with this little extra surgical blade, which I don't understand why it had 2 of them. It had one inside the snakebite kit, plus this one. So after this video, that's going to go off in there. And this is a little capsule, which has very small writing, which has Morse code on it. So you can hopefully interpret Morse code or send a signal Morse code with this little chart. Inside, now the matches aren't bad, but the striker, I thought that was kind of ridiculous. They gave you a striking pad that is less than 1/2 inch square, barely enough to hold on to, let alone to strike a match with it. So those are definitely going bye-bye once this video is over. It does have some monofilament fishing line in there. I don't know what the pound test is of that. It has a couple split shots. They're not the kind that are reusable, so they're going to go a couple needles and a couple hooks. So the needles and the hooks are going to go back in here with some fishing line that I do know what the pound test is. That way I got a good idea what I'm working with. And the rest is, like I said, going away. This lid, I don't know if you can see that or not, actually has some magnification to it. I'm assuming they put that in there as a fire starting type deal, which optimistically, I mean, if you had a very, very bright day, you might be able to get your tinder to, you know, you might be able to get an ember from that. But what I'm going to use it for is just to close the cap back off. Like I said, I'm only going to put fishing supplies in there, and after the video it's going back in the handle. Okay, so last thing as far as what came with it. So far I got no problem with anything else that came with it. Some of the stuff was not, well, except for the matches. I mean, I thought the striking pad on the matches was kind of ridiculous that they gave you such a small little square. It's possible I might have got some fluke end of run where for some reason they gave me a small square. But if that's on every single one of them, they need to change that, because that was not good. This is, in my opinion, the worst flashlight I've ever put in my hand. It's the kind that, I put a brand new battery in there when I first got this thing. I was curious to see how it was. And I tightened it down, and it was, well, I'll try to beat it up too bad, but it was very bad. It did work. It was very dim, and I was very disappointed. Like I was disappointed with the little square. Cool thing is, you can take all the metal components out of it, and once again, there is a lens with some magnification to it. This lens is actually bigger than the one that was in the handle, so you got a better chance of getting an ember from this. There's an O-ring right there around the thread, so when you close this dude down, you got a watertight container with a makeshift ignition source right there. So if you like matches, you fill this dude up with some matches, and if you look and see, they really don't take up all that much space in there. So you have a lot of extra space that you could put some tinder in there, like some cotton balls, or I don't know, just anything that you can get to light. And of course, put a decent striker in there too, a decent striking pad. But if you want it, like I said, hang on to this flashlight, that'd be the way to do it, is to take the metal guts out and use it as a match safe fire kit. But as you can see, these are all things minus the little capsule that I have decided not to put with the knife sheath. There's one thing that actually came with the knife that I have not taken out of the sheath. I've left it in there with it. Takes up next to no space. GI type can opener. Fold flat, take up hardly any space. And for some reason you come across a can of something, it's a lot easier to open up a can with that than it is sitting there trying to puncture with that great big old knife and possibly hurting yourself. This I added. This is the SOL. No, it doesn't stand for what you think it stands for. It's Survive Outdoors Longer. It's the Mini Rescue Flash Signal Mirror. Yes, I just read that. But it's the kind of signal mirror that does have a hole in the middle to where you can aim it a lot more efficiently and get somebody's attention as long as they're within line of sight. A lot of times survival kits will have a whistle, and whistles are limited according to how well they're made. A very crappy cheap whistle will have a very crappy short range to be able to signal somebody. However, a high-end whistle is going to cost a lot of money, or in some cases high-end whistles are huge to where they're almost as big as this flashlight. signal mirrors. This is small. As long as they're within line of sight, no matter how far away, they can be a couple miles away and they're still going to see you. So that's the way to go with that. Fits nicely in this pocket right here along with that can opener. And so far I feel like I'm going pretty well off. Like I said, I no longer have this flashlight. I upgraded it. This is the Splash Flash. As you can see, easy on, just turn it. And then you got Morse code right here, dot dot dot, dash dash dash, dot dot dot, SOS. So if you need to use this as a signaling device, this is another signaling device. Like I said, if you need to use it for just lighting the area, you can suspend it from something. Something I didn't actually think of until the time of this video is if you put it on a little clothespin, you can pin it to your shirt, see what you're doing in front of you, and not have to worry about using a headlamp or having to worry about the problem with most flashlights, which is you're having to hold it with one hand, and at least with only one hand to work with. This way you'd have both hands to do something. This thing is waterproof. Yes, it does cost, I think, around about $10, but it's a great little flashlight. Fits great into that pocket right there. And the other thing inside the pocket is my trusty little fire kit. It's got the Bic lighter, the ferro rod, and the Gorilla duct tape. Instant flame. Very reliable ferrocerium rod. Like I said, you strike it on the back of the 90-degree spine of the knife. Then you got fire no matter what. Okay, so that's that pocket. So far, got two ways to signal somebody. You got lighting, you got fire, and you got something to help out with food. Granted, it's not going to catch an animal, but provided the animal's already in a can, you can get them out. And finally, in the last pocket, the Sharp and Easy. These are available at, especially at Academy Sports, I know. That's where I picked this one up at. They're only about $3 or $4. And where the stone is kind of a little more, takes a little more skill for the stone. You have to kind of get the dude right in there and keep your angle right. Not to mention with that great big old blade, trying to sharpen on that little bit of stone is a little more of a challenge. Where this, boom, about 3 or 4 licks with that, and you're good to go. Got coarse side, fine side, so if it's starting to get really dull, you can bring it around and then hone it up with the very last one right there. Fits nicely in the pocket. Like I said, sharpen a knife real good. So as it sits now, not the way I bought it, but the way it is now, I'm a little more pleased. Fishing kit. Like I said, 2 ways to signal somebody. You got light, so in case you're trying to do something at night, you can see what you're doing. You got a reliable fire system, and you got blade maintenance. And to me, what makes a survival knife is 1, it needs to be stainless steel to be weather resistant. 2, you have to have blade maintenance with the knife. When you pick the knife up, sheath it, whatever, you know, when the knife is in sheath and you pick it up, it needs to have blade maintenance with it. And most importantly, it also needs to have fire with it too. So if you got blade maintenance, fire, and a blade that resists the elements, to me that's a survival knife. Not okay. To sum all this up, basically, whether it be for survival, camping, or a little bit of both, when you buy something, start off with gear that you know is good quality. Like I said, like this knife, I know that the knife is good quality. I knew from experience in the past that I had one before and it was, you know, it met my expectations and then some. And the sheath, like I said, real happy with the sheath. So start with what you know is good quality, and then whatever you don't agree with or whatever you think is subpar, or if it's just something you're not able to use for whatever reason, whether it be physical dexterity or lack of knowledge or just lack of experience. Like like I said, if any of those things are an issue, then cut that item out and replace it with something that you are confident that you can actually use. Like I said, I took out things that I did not agree with as far as my skill set or as far as the way I like doing things. And I put in what I did like. So now I got the knife that I love, I got the sheath that I love, and I got all the components that I'm comfortable using, that I trust and I know how to use. So this is a knife that I basically bought just for camping, just for fun in the woods, because like I said, I like the way that the way the knife is designed. I mean, you know, that's the main reason why I got it. But it's nice to know that all the components of it I can actually use if for whatever reason I did have to use this as a survival knife. And that's why you want all your gear to really be. You want it to be something that you can actually use. You. Not some guy on TV. Not some guy in a boardroom. You. But before I take this any longer, I'm going to cut it short right there, and I will see y'all later.